on the subject of camping on a budget, food. So this one is going to comprise of a breakfast quotient, which will be quick oats, and that is Woolworths Homebrand, made with Australian oats. 90 seconds cooking time, excellent source of whole grain quick oats sachets. There's 12 sachets. This is a variety pack. There's two types. I can't remember what the other one is, but so this is the variety pack. You get 4 apple and raspberry flavoured, you get 4 apple and cinnamon flavoured, and you get 4 apricot. Here I've got apricot. Apricot isn't necessarily my favourite, but that's the one I pulled out, so I'll stick to it. Now, along with that, and maybe just as a snack along the trail when when you sit down taking a break, Aussie sultanas. This is another Woolworths Homebrand item. And let's see, the oats, the pack, that 12 pack costs $3.75. So that equates to each sachet is 38 grams of oats dried, and at 31.2, I'm reading off a book, 31.25 cents for each sachet. The reason why I brought up the sultanas is because I'm looking at this and I'm going, yeah, that's not really going to get that much, it's not going to get massive, and as a breakfast, it's really probably not going to fill you up. So what I would do is I would add the sultanas to it. Now the sultanas, Woolworths Homebrand again, because we're on the theme is cheap, right? But Homebrand and cheap doesn't necessarily mean low quality. You'd be surprised how much of the Homebrand stuff is made in the same and packaged and cooked and processed in the same places where the expensive stuff is. Quite a lot of it. Pardon me. Now the Woolworths Aussie sultanas. Frog in my throat. The 6-pack comes in a 6-pack, costs $1.95. So each pack is 40 grams, and that works out to be 23.5 cents each. So yeah, you're not breaking the bank there. Now, so the main component of the meal will be the Bombay potatoes. This is Coles Homebrand, which is the same brand, as the Coles Palak Paneer, which I rated as actually some of the nicest Indian food I've ever had. Admittedly, the cottage cheese wasn't cottage cheese; it was more like, I don't know what it was, but it was excellent. So I'm expecting this to really set a high bar. We'll wait and see. And that costs, I can't remember how much. $3. It costs $3 for 300 grams. It's not all you do is heat it up, so yeah, there's a bit of weight to it if you're camping, but who cares. Chicken flavoured noodle soup, I'll talk about that in a minute, but I'm just going to take a break because I've got some rice on the boil and I can tell that it's starting to cook, so I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. That was a slight miscalculation in timing, chronology. But anyway, I've got the rice cooking for this because it's pretty odd to have Indian food without rice, or bread at least, or rice and bread actually, yeah. That's usually how the Indians have it. Now, so I've got the rice cooking on the absorption method, which is, I've got half a cup of basmati, Riviana Pakistani basmati rice, and under normal circumstances with long grain rice you would add twice as much water as rice by volume, but this particular rice that I've got must be really, really dry because I'm having to add 2.5 cups. So with rice, you have to, depending on which batch you get, it can differ quite a lot about how much water you have to add. But anyway, So absorption method is not my favourite method, but you know the Persian method is, with the sliced potato at the bottom. Blah, blah, blah. If you've watched my tutorial on how to do the Persian rice cooking method, that is my favourite method of cooking rice, but it doesn't really translate that well to the field. It's a bit finicky, and you got to muck around. And, you know, if you watch me do it, you can see what was going on. So the absorption method is a lot quicker, and who gives a sorry, I'm gonna swear there. Who cares if you burn, you know, or when you're out in the field, nothing like that really matters. So, yeah. But anyway, so I've also got this here. Carrying on. This is Woolworths Essentials chicken flavoured noodle soup. Now, I'm not going to say anything about it now, but what I will do, and I never planned to do this until, because I've already tried one. I just went and bought another 10. So yeah, that'll give you an idea of what I think of it. Most packaged soups that I've found, like dried, dehydrated, are pretty bland, and not something that I would choose. A lot of the times when I do have it, I actually have it on the job sites that I work. At the meal areas in the morning, you prepare your food for the rest of the day, and a lot of the times they will have packet soups, and the soups that they provide are not this brand, but continental cup of soups is what they use. All of them provide that. I'm not sure why that is. Continental must have a really monopoly on it or something, I don't know. But typically what I'll do is I'll put 2 in a cup, because one is just so watery and bland and crap. So, but this, so a real surprise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a soup shootout, and if possible I'll do a chicken noodle soup shootout, you know, comparisons, because I grew up, the only soup, well, sort of, not really, but the #1 soup that I ever had growing up as a child was chicken noodle soup. The real thing, cooked by my mum, who was an outstanding cook. Like, really, she could make anything just delicious. There was never a point in my whole life, and the whole time that she was capable of, she's passed away now, but in the whole time that she was capable of cooking, there was never ever anyone who ever complained about her cooking. Like, never. In fact, people used to, whenever I brought someone new to try to come to dinner or lunch or whatever, and they ate her food, it was they kept coming back or wanting to come back. But in any case, so that's my mum's chicken noodle soup was the best chicken soup that I've ever had in my whole life, and I'll come out and say it. This is the closest thing to it, and I doubt if there's any chicken in it, but it's amazing. So I'm going to have a soup shootout later on anyway. So anyway, we'll get all this food prepared, and because I haven't tried any of this, so we'll see what it tastes like. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so there's 3 methods of preparing the oats. You can do it on the stove in a microwave, or you can do it in the sachet, apparently. Now this might be a catastrophe because I'm adding just boiled water. There's the level you could add it to. That's the level. That's the line. And within 90 seconds, hey presto, it'll be ready to go. So yeah, I'll get the other stuff ready and I'll bring it over, and then we'll have a go at this. Alright, so back in a minute again. Now, I have to apologise for the ceiling fan, but it's bloody hot, so I know you can be hearing it. Now, a bit disappointing, the colour on the packet is quite red, whereas when it comes out it's brown. This is going to blow away. So sultanas there, so it doesn't blow away. But we're going to start off with the quick oats. That's ready to go. A bit dry. We're going to start off. We're going to put some sultanas in there. Just on top. So we can go with it. I don't know whether I was wondering if the apricot bits had gone to the bottom or something, but there's not many in there, so yeah. I know it's just this batch or all like that, but it's pretty much just oats and a trace of apricots. So let's keep hitting it. Yeah. You really do need to add more water than that level that it says, because that's it's pretty dry. It's not dry, but there should be a little bit of excess liquid with porridge. Well, there's no liquid at all. It's just solid. But with the sultanas, it's actually good. And at what, 55 cents with the sultanas and the oats, it's pretty good. It's a lot better than buying, you know, we don't have a lot of, in the United States you guys have got an amazing selection of pre-prepared meals and pre-prepared food. Here in Australia we are not as blessed. For instance, we don't have Mountain House, which you guys are probably shocked. What? You don't have Mountain House? No. Don't ask me why. I don't know. Mountain House has been around for a very, very, very long time, and and you would think they would have their shit together and be selling all around the world and be making billions, but no. My understanding is that even their supply in the United States can be a bit tight, which is totally bizarre to me. If there's a market, fill it, supply it. So Mountain House, get your shit together, because I can't get it here in Australia. Right, so we're going to have a try of this. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're just going to get some salt. We'll be back in a second. Okay. Yeah, because not surprisingly, it does need some salt. I'm a salt addict, and you know, you will always get like the minimum amount of salt, regardless of whether you eat in a restaurant or in a military mess or pre-prepared food, you're going to get the least amount of salt, because some people just can't handle it. They don't like salt, whereas, so it's always easy to add. Once you put it in, you can't take it away. So here we go again. Let me tell you, that is authentic Indian, really. Yeah. Like I said before, I grew up in an area that had a lot of people from the subcontinent. A lot of Indians and a lot of Sri Lankans, and so I know what Indian, and one of the areas that I lived in Melbourne, pardon me, I'm eating it too fast because it's so delicious. One of the areas that I lived in Melbourne had one of the best Indian restaurants, like just to die for. It was called the Maharani, and in Richmond in Melbourne. Wow. And like that was their sort of middle class restaurant. They only had two, and the main one was in the upper class one was in the city, actually in the city. I'm not sure where. I never went to it, but my understanding is that he used to circulate the cooks between the two restaurants. So you had really, really top Indian chefs in that restaurant, and by golly, you know, everyone that I took, even people who I knew, not necessarily Indian, but of Indian descent, so they knew Indian, they really praised it, you know, people who'd been to India. But as far as Indian food is concerned, Coles Homebrand, Indian made easy, one meal or three sides, authentic Indian recipe, Homebrand. These things, fantastic, really. Just, like if you're in Australia, obviously, go out and try it because it's fantastic. I can't stop eating it, and actually, this is as far as I can get because my stomach has shrunk to probably the size of an orange, because I've essentially been on a starvation diet. I've just been eating. I've been drinking too much beer. That's what gives you the gut, and too much drinking, too much eating, or too much drinking beer, too much eating, and over a few years I developed a serious gut, and I just need to get rid of it. And one of the things is that just stop eating and let your body go autolytic. And autolysis is where it starts to feed on itself, meaning your fat reserves, right? And I mean, if I'm not having serious issues, if there's nothing wrong with starving yourself, you know, human beings, before the advent of agriculture and animal husbandry, human beings, our food intake was not a regular occurrence. You didn't have breakfast, lunch, dinner. You know, you might just pigged out on meat one day, berries the next day. Who knows? Some sort of tuber the next day, or you know, just insects, no doubt, reptiles, whatever, fish. So this diet format that we've gotten into is really not natural. So and I think a lot of people and a lot of physicians and dietary experts reckon that fasting is a good thing. And once you get over those hunger pangs, yeah, you get over it pretty quickly. You know, it's a different story if you like, because I haven't been working for the last 2 weeks, so I haven't really needed that intake. Probably didn't need it anyway when I was working, but so I've been on this starvation diet, or not a starvation diet. You know, if I really felt like I needed something, you know, I'd grab a snack, but not much. Like, you know, so which is good because your stomach shrinks and then you can't eat a lot. You know? The trick is to just, it's very easy for your stomach to expand again and get bigger. The trick is don't let it do that. So yeah, I've got to be really mindful of that. But I can't eat anymore, like literally. I would have devoured that normally, but yeah, that's how small my stomach's got, which is good. So anyway, back to the subject at hand. Yeah, the Woolworths Homebrand quick oats. Yeah, if you are going to use it out in the field, which is the only reason I would take sachets of quick oats, buy them. I wouldn't. It's not for home. I would put probably another finger of water in there at least in the sachet, because that wasn't enough. The actual line where it said to pour it to. No, I definitely put a pack of sultanas in there. The only real issue that I have with these sultanas is they come separately packed, which is nice, but they're not in a sealed pack. They're just in a cardboard box. So, and the biggest, probably the biggest pest issue that I ever have camping in Australia is ants. I'm telling you, ants, man, they're everywhere in Australia, and especially in the north of Australia, they are just everywhere. So that's the only issue that I have with those sultanas. I'd probably end up, I don't know, getting really small Ziploc bags and transferring it to them. Although ants will just chew through plastic bags and everything. Yeah, if they detect food, they just go to town. So yeah, maybe really small containers or plastic containers that you can get really cheap or something. Yeah, but it's definitely worth adding it to the oats. Whereas the Bombay potatoes, oh yeah, it's the bomb. No pun intended. And then later on, down the track, we'll be having a chicken soup hopefully chicken soup shootout. This has set a very, very, very high bar. So we'll see what happens then. Anyway, till I see you next time. See you later.